Hey you guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel and welcome to this week's Ask Nikki. I hope you guys are excited and ready to talk and chat, share your personal experiences and your thoughts with this new Ask Nikki. We have a lot of questions to go through, so we're gonna jump right in, girl. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, make sure that you do that so you're not left out of these videos and story times and many others. Also, make sure that you're hitting that bell notification and turning notifications on your phone so you're the first to know when your girl drops a video. As per usual, we're going to be going over our Glamour shot of the day. These are my girls, my supporters, my #1 loves that are always down for my ass, that follow me on my social medias, that are always giving me love. This is my girl Shay Shay. She sent me her Glamour shot on Twitter using hashtag Glamour shot. Literally took my breath away with this one, girl. You look so amazing. Thank you so much for loving me and supporting me, and you guys just always being down for me. I really appreciate it. You guys know that I would not be here without you, and I could not do this without each and every one of you guys. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now y'all ready to talk about y'all stuff? Y'all ready for Ask Nikki? Just a real quick recap, if you're new to this series, it's super simple. It's exactly what it sounds like. My girls will email me at asknikki@yahoo.com with their situations, their problems that they need some mediocre advice on. So I give them my thoughts. I kind of go through their email and really dissect it and really try to read between the lines. And then I give my thoughts, but also my Glamazons will use the polls. You can find them on the top right-hand corner of your screen. Also, of course, the comment section is available for longer, more in-depth thoughts, so make sure you guys utilize that as well. For the most part, I've been noticing that a lot of my Glamazons do want to remain anonymous. That seems to be more often than not, so I think I'm just going to be making up names going forward and just keeping my real girls anonymous, because you know, a lot of their friends and stuff be watching me too. Hey girl. This first email is from my girl, and we will call her Kay, okay? Her subject line is, "I'm just so tired of being the grown one." She put grown one in quotes. Okay. Hey Nikki, just wanted to say I love you so much. Your videos get me through my lowest times, and I wanted to say thank you for that. Oh, thank you. So for almost as long as I can remember, I'm 23, I always have to be the one to look for my family members. But now that I'm a mother, I would have thought things would change, especially since I moved from California to New York. A little backstory, I don't have the best relationship with my family or hubbies, but I always do my best to tell people that they are always welcome to talk to my 2 girls, ages 4 and 2. I'm currently pregnant with my 3rd girl too. Oh my God, congratulations. This pregnancy has had many complications in the last couple of months. I was going through pains that I would say are not normal. I was close to one of my hubby's sisters, who I considered her to be my sister, and because she has kids, I thought she would understand that you know when something's not right with your body. I was basically bedridden and couldn't even move due to so much pain, and it actually got me depressed that I couldn't even use the bathroom at times because of it while taking care of my 2 girls. Everyone would tell me to get over it basically, and that I couldn't handle my pregnancy and to just get over it. Well, I actually had to go to the hospital recently. I'm 35 weeks, and it turned out that I had a bad infection for the last couple of months, and everything I'm going through is because of it. But before I found that out, when I was in the hospital, my sister-in-law called me and told me that it's nothing, they're gonna send me home, even though I repeatedly told her that something is wrong. She started to yell at me through the phone while I was in pain and having constant contractions every 2 to 3 minutes. And when I told her I'm not arguing with her while at the hospital and in horrible pain, she got upset and hung up on me. Well, now that I have taken antibiotics, it's like I'm a totally different me, and I can do normal things again besides normal pregnancy pains now. So here's the problem. She is the godmother to my girls, and I'm at the point where she hasn't even called them and only sends me a message to tell them she loves them, but I'm just so tired of having to be the one to send pictures and updates, and that's all I get. Am I wrong for canceling her watching my girls while I give birth and let her know baby is here after? Or do I let her have them even though she hasn't even spoken to them? I'm just tired of being the grown one and having to look for family members for my girls. Screw me, I could care less, but it bugs me when it's my girls' family that don't even look for them. I have no family out here besides my husband, so it breaks my heart that they have so much family and barely anyone looks for them, even when I've tried to make dates to do things and always get turned down. Thank you for reading this. I'm just torn and don't know what to really do. God bless you and your family. All right, Kay, girl, let's talk about your situation. I feel like a lot of people, a lot of moms feel like they're in this position when it comes to family, whether it's your family, your man's family, whoever's family, your babies. family on both sides. I feel like there are people, it's just like a really big gray area, because I don't believe that kids should be used in the middle of misunderstandings or fights between adults, because it's not their fault. And I remember when we were kids, you know, among my mom and her siblings, sometimes her siblings, like my aunties and my uncle, when they would get upset, they would take their kids, which were my cousins, away until they got over it. Me and my cousins would lose out on time because the adults are mad, you know? What do you do when it's not even really an issue between you and that person? It just genuinely seems like that person isn't putting a whole lot of time into your kids. So first things first, congratulations on your third girl. Oh my God. So you are 35 weeks pregnant, which is super, super preggers. Okay, you're like almost there. You're right at the tail end, girl, you're at the finish line. You and your husband's sister have been really, really close, and you moved from California to New York, and you are around his family. So you don't have any family of your own. So you got really close to his sister and kind of considered her your actual sister. And then you started having some complications. You started having pain. You started having, you know, these issues. And you go to your sister and you start talking to her, because she's a mom. And you're like, hey, I'm feeling all this. Like, I'm just like really scared and I don't know. And she kind of keeps downplaying it. Your husband, everybody that you're talking to is like, like, it's really not that big of a deal. You just don't seem to know how to handle your pregnancy. Everybody's telling you it's no big deal. Like, you just can't handle it. You can't hang pretty much. And you're just being a big old baby about it. You keep going on and on and on. And then finally, when it starts getting too bad, you finally go see the doctor. Let's pause the story, okay? You're in the doctor's office right now. And you're sitting there, you're 35 weeks pregnant, you're in so much pain, you're having contractions every 2 and 3 minutes. And for those of y'all that have never had contractions, y'all, let me tell you something. It is the worst pain of all time. I'm just saying. So every 2 and 3 minutes, bam, 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 you're getting contractions, okay? She calls you. Is that what you said? Hold on, I just want to make sure I get my facts straight. Yep, when I was in the hospital, my sister-in-law called me and told me that it's nothing. Okay, so she calls you, she finds out that you're there, she calls you to tell you that you're wrong, that you're ridiculous, that they're not gonna find anything, they're just gonna send you home anyway. And when you don't agree and you insist that you're gonna stay there and take some tests, she starts yelling at you. You tell her that you're not gonna be putting up with it, you're not gonna argue with her right now, like you obviously got other things going on. She gets mad and she hangs up. Let's talk about your 4-year-old and your 2-year-old little girls. You did provide a photo, I can see it. I'm not gonna put it up here though, because they're babies. They're so unbelievably cute. So it turns out that your husband's sister is actually both of their godmothers. If you guys don't know what like a godmother and a godfather is, usually in families, you know, it's the person that you pick to take care of your children in the event that something happens to you and your husband. It's a very, very big decision, and it is something to be taken seriously, because I mean, we don't know what tomorrow has in store. You don't know how long you're going to be here. You always need to have a plan in place for your kids, and you want to make sure that if it's not you that can be here to raise them, it's the next best person. So, you know, whoever that may be in your life, but that person has to understand that it's really serious, okay? You're going to be taking over raising my child. And like, I have to trust that you're going to raise them right and how I would want them raised. Like, that's the other thing, is like, they have to be respectful of like the way that you wanted them raised. So that it's a whole thing, okay? Your husband's family doesn't really get a hold of you for the girls. Like, they don't come around the girls, they don't talk to the girls. Your husband's sister included. Like, she doesn't call them, she doesn't try to see them. You've tried to make like little play dates and like always get turned down, and you send photos and you like, you know, definitely make sure to spread the love of your girls, and nobody's really jumping on to see them or isn't really in a hurry to be involved with them or see them. You always send pictures and updates, and that's all you get is like her being like, hey, tell him I love him. But you feel like that's not enough. You feel like, you know, she should be more involved. You feel like, you know, she should be checking in on your girls, especially after she talked to you that way while you were going through what you were going through at the hospital. You kind of feel like you may not want her to watch your kids. As most of y'all know, when you have more than one baby, Of course, you're gonna be in labor, so somebody has to watch your baby while you're in labor. You know, you say that you don't care about you, like this is all about your girls, and you just want them as a whole, like as a family, to want your girls, to want to hang out with them, to try basically in this relationship, and you're not feeling that type of support. So now your question is, in regards to your husband's sister, do you not allow her to watch the girls while you're in labor and then just tell her when the baby's already here? Or do you still allow her to watch the girls while you're in labor, even though she hasn't talked to them? I like trying to play the devil's advocate, you know, in most situations, and kind of like see both sides, because I do understand that not everyone's life is open for just your kids, you know, and vice versa. Like if we really think about it, sister-in-law, she has children as well. You said she has kids, plural, so more than one, okay? It happens in my own family, okay? We have kids now. It can be really hard to really mesh the two babies' schedules together. Like how many babies there are, it's really hard to mesh their schedules together. Now I know a lot of people are able to just like go to one person's house and like all the kids are there, but usually that's around a certain age. It's a very specific age that you can start doing that. But also, you know, for those parents that have a more strenuous schedule because, you know, it's the needs of their child and they feel like their baby does better on a strict schedule, you have to respect that. And because of that, they may not always have a lot of time to invest into your kids because they're really busy raising their own. And that's not to say that you should never hear from them, but also try not to get your feelings hurt when they can't reach out to you or they can't meet up with you all the time or whatever, because having more than one child, it becomes really tricky, and it you know, it's a lot about scheduling, and like you have to think about naps, and you have to think about snacks, and you have to think about, I know for me, Ezra has a schedule, okay? And I know what he's willing to do out there, like when we're out on the streets or for visiting family at their houses. Let me tell you something. He will not eat his food when we are out there. Like when he's busy and he's like out on the street and he's visiting people's homes and he's all out there, my baby, he will not eat. He's just too distracted. He's just too everywhere. If I want Ezra to do his best and actually have a full day and his schedule is not deterred, it's here in the house. It's here in our space. And then, you know, we go for a walk every day and we have our routine, and he does really well with routines. So it's very few, I'm gonna be real, it's very few and far in between that I get my baby off of his schedule right now because he's still so little. Let's talk about her being the godmother. Doesn't that mean that she should be putting in a little bit extra effort into seeing your girls and taking care of your girls and knowing your girls? I do feel like, you know, her accepting that role, because I have to assume that she did, that she accepted it. She understands the seriousness of it, and she understands that the girls are gonna have to know her. If anything were to happen to you and they have to go with her, it would be way more beneficial for the girls to actually know her and have a relationship with her to keep things in their life as normal as possible. That's the whole point of this, okay? I'm just gonna get to my point, okay? So number one, I don't like the way that she was treating you and that they were treating you as a whole about the issues that you were facing in your pregnancy, what you were feeling. It doesn't matter how many people are telling you no, no, no. Like, you already know, and you did the right thing by going to the hospital, because you really could have put your baby in danger. Just listening to other people. It comes to a point in your pregnancy, especially when you have another baby, like a baby, a human to take care of inside of your body. It is so important that you listen to yourself, because the only person that your body is going to speak to is you. Not super fond of her reaction to you going to the hospital, not super fond of her picking that moment to pick a fight with you and to like tell you how wrong you are and how stupid you are for even going there and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just, there is a time and a place factor. Maybe she's not mature enough to see that. I don't know, but definitely not the time. Now, I'm going to be real with you. I feel like you're thinking about this right now because you're pissed. I think that you're pissed, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you're wrong for being pissed. I'd be pissed too. But I think that you're pissed that she did choose that moment to upset you even more and to yell at you, and it's really disrespectful, and it's really a lack of compassion, a lack of understanding. You're like burned a little bit by this, and now you're like, okay, well, you're not going to see my girls. I don't think you're trying to do it maliciously. I really don't. don't. I just think that that's where this thought is coming from. Like, that's what sparked it. Do you still have her watch the girls when you're in labor? I think that all depends. I think all of this needs to be cleared up with a conversation. Honestly, you guys, there are some times that I just wish that people would just have a conversation with me. Like, I hate being in the dark. I hate having quite possibly offended somebody or hurt somebody, especially somebody that I care about, and they don't give me the opportunity to fix it, or like even tell me what it is they expect out of me as family, you know? I just appreciate it when people actually take the time out to have a conversation with me. And that's why I try to extend that to people in my own life, because there's so much that can be fixed with a conversation. And it's not just like, oh, let's communicate. It's like really getting into the meat and potatoes of, this is what I expect out of you. And when you don't, like, it makes me feel this way. And then I'm all kinds of hurt with you. And because you never know, she could sit there and be like, I had no idea. Like, time flies for me. You know, my kids have been going through their own stuff. And before I know it, I look up and weeks have passed, and like, I didn't even have any time to breathe. Like, I had no idea it was making you feel this way. I'm so sorry. Like, you never know what she's going through on her end too, girl. Like I said, being a parent, it's not always as easy as like, oh, let's just go here, let's just go there. You need to have a conversation, very upfront. Just be like, hey, you do know that you're my kid's godmom, right? Okay, I'm gonna need you to like know them, because it's very important that you take that role seriously. But also, if you feel like the conversation needs to be had about her treating you like that and talking to you that way and choosing moments like that are less than fine and like less than the right moment to be talking about something, you need to nip that as well. Boundaries have to be set now, girl, before your baby gets here. Boundaries have to be set down like that. When I say that I want to do something about my body and my decision and my kids, you don't contradict me. Like, I made my decision. You're not my mom. Like, I don't need you to give me the green light or the red light. Like, I'm not asking for your opinion. It's just a matter of respect for somebody's decision. I know myself, when my friends make a decision and they've thought about it or whatever, and especially something like this, and even if I don't think that it's the right decision, or maybe I think that they're overreacting or whatever, at the end of the day, I have to respect their decision, because that, I mean, it really is just respect. And you have to set down that boundary, girl, especially with these, you know, your husband's family, so that they're not constantly questioning all of your decisions as a parent, because this is where it starts. Stop. And I think based on that conversation, and just be straight up, like, for real, I be asking people like, okay, like, well, what do you want to do now? Like, do you want to help me? Do you feel like you have the time to get to know my girls? You know, we can look 3-4 weeks ahead of time and really like, maybe like have a monthly play date, like monthly, you know, like where you guys really look far in advance, but you know that every month it's the same, and the cousins can be together, and you know, y'all can plan for that. Work together, come up with a schedule, have the conversation, set down boundaries, make sure you guys have an understanding, because you chose her as the godmother of your kids, and that's really important. You kind of have this much time to have this conversation, because you're about to have your baby really soon. Hey girl, like, we need to have a discussion, okay? Like, and get things a little straight. I hope this helps. Glamazons, let her know in the polls, how would you handle this situation? Would you let her take care of the girls? Would you not? Like, just let me know. Of course, as usual, let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below, and let me know if you guys have been in this situation. If you have, what'd you do? What is the limit to what you can handle before you remove your kids? Because I'm not going to sit here and say that every person should be around your kids. I feel like there are bad influences. I feel like kids are very impressionable. They have a lot of power as far as what the kids are seeing and what they're around and what their, you know, their environment. So let me know y'all's thoughts. I hope this helps, love. Make sure you check out the polls and down in the comment section below, so your fellow Glamazons can let you know what you should do. But that's how I would handle it. You know, I'm a big advocate for conversations, girl. So I wish you the best of luck. Congratulations on your new baby girl, and I hope this all works out. Mwah. So this is for my girl. We'll call her Amy. Okay, hey Amy. Her subject line is called hurt in all caps. Hey Nikki, my name is Amy. So I guess let me tell you the story, then get to my question. Around this time last year, I started talking to this guy. We will call him Isaac. He goes to a school in a different state but comes home often, and we talked the whole time and started dating in March of this year. He was a perfect man and everything I ever looked for in a man. He came back home at the end of May. Everything was good besides a little lack of communication, but nothing too bad. We finally got to the point of having sex, and he couldn't get it up. I thought, well, maybe it was me till it happened about the fourth time. So I thought about it for days and asked him to text me when he was off work because I wanted to talk. It was really late when he got off, so I was asleep. When I woke up, I texted him and basically told him that it was okay and that I understand and I wasn't going to leave over it, and basically that I didn't want him to feel embarrassed about it, that we could go through it together, literally just trying to be supportive. Well, he didn't respond until days later and just said how he was embarrassed, and I apologized over and over again, trying to talk things out with him just to get shut out. He wouldn't reply to me, so I started to go through it really bad, and I was really sad and crying a lot because, you know, he shut me out without telling me where we stood, and it really hurt. It really hurt to the point I was calling out of work. I couldn't stop crying. So I kept texting him and no response. I explained how hurt I was feeling and sad. This was on Saturday and today is Tuesday and still not one response. So my question is, do I take that as we're over? Do I ask if it's over? Am I in the wrong for trying to comfort him? Should I just move on? I'm lost. Please help, even if it's just a reply back here. I love you and your videos. It's really been keeping me going through this tough spot. I love you. Let me just, I just need to take a minute. Hold on. Alright, look, okay, this is something that we need to talk about because I just feel like, this is bull, okay, I really do. His name is Isaac. He goes to school out of state, but he comes home a lot. You guys have been together since March. Everything was great. You guys had a little lack of communication, but everything was all good. He came home end of May, and then you guys got to the point of, you know, doing the Zed, okay? But before you have your fun, you notice that something ain't working right. You kind of take it as a blow to your ego, okay? Normal response. But then it happened for the fourth time, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Every single time it's happening. Are, of course, coming to the realization that maybe it ain't true, but you still want to talk to him about it, and you ask him to call you after he gets off work. He gets off work super late, and you're asleep. So you text him and you decide to have this convo with him via text. You text him and you're like, hey, don't be embarrassed. I'm sorry. Look, okay, I understand. So I'm sorry. Being super supportive. And you seriously are not judging. You're like, hey, we're gonna go through this together. Look, I love you no matter what. I'm not about to leave over it, okay? Look, I'm a ride or die, homie. You know, you start reassuring him and texting him. He does not text you back at all until days later. Like, hearts in your throat. I know this feeling when you think your man's mad at you and like there's nothing you can do about it, and you're like, oh my god, I totally didn't mean it that way, but I hope I didn't hurt your feelings, and like they're not responding, and you just feel totally out of control and you're just losing your mind. You start freaking out, and then when he finally does text you back, he tells you that he is embarrassed, so you apologize over and over and over and over again, right? And then he just stops responding altogether. You are a mess right now. You are crying, you are upset, you're lost, you don't know where you guys stand as far as your relationship. You're probably already really emotionally connected to him. You were affected by this so badly and so unbelievably hurt and so, you know, worried that you started calling into work. At this very moment, he still has not gotten back to you. You haven't gotten a response from him at all. So we're gonna go over your questions because you have quite a few of them. Do I take that as a we're over? Do I ask if it's over? Am I in the wrong for trying to comfort him? Should I just move on? I'm gonna tell you right now, okay, look, we have real ass discussions here, okay? I feel like this happens a lot. I feel like as women, we're gonna find that this happens a lot. And I feel like every woman has an experience with this at least once. Unfortunately, it's not anything that guys can help. If it happens, it happens. But with you and your man, it happened 4 times in a row. I mean, that's what I'm guessing, because it just says, I thought maybe it was me till it happened about the 4th time. So I don't know if this was like, you know, was it like working in between and then like it happened 4 times total, or did this happen like 4 times in a row? Because there really is a big difference, okay? I don't think that you're wrong for trying to comfort him. I just feel like, this conversation probably should have been had in person, because guys are super embarrassed when it comes to stuff like this, okay? Like, it is legit the worst fear for this to happen. It is a direct hit, okay? Boom, to their manhood. It really is. It just is not something that they want to talk about. It is not something that they just, oh my God, don't ever. Now, of course, if it's something that is an issue and it's ongoing, there's no way that you can avoid it. But this conversation, in my opinion, I just feel like if you have to have a conversation with your man about something like this, it needs to be in person. It needs to be like where he can't run, he can't hide. Because, you know, he's gonna be really embarrassed. And like, of course, like, you get it. Like, you get why he would be embarrassed, okay? So, but it's just like one of those really hard things where you're like, baby, but I just need you to know that I'm here with you, and like, I love you, and I'm a ride or die, because that's all you were trying to tell him. Like, you weren't coming from a bad place, but it doesn't matter. Like, guys just get really, they get really embarrassed. They're not trying to hear it. They are not. They will shut down on you so fast. But when it's in person, they can see your face. They can see how genuine you are, that you really are just like being their homie right now. Like, you're not even trying to judge them. You're not trying to make fun of them. You're not doing any of that. And I think that seeing that in person is such a big difference, because when he's reading it on his phone, he's just probably like he wants to go and run and hide under a rock somewhere, you know? Like, he does not want to have this discussion. So he's just avoiding you. He's probably so embarrassed. This probably has nothing to do with you. I just feel like he's just so embarrassed that he can't face you. Like, I don't even think that he's mad at you, like keep you waiting and like be mean to you. I just feel like his ego is so bruised, because, you know, of course he knew that you knew about the problem, but y'all never talked about it. All of a sudden he's got text messages about it, and, you know, boys are just they're just very touchy about this subject. Going on to the rest of your email, we gotta have a little discussion, girl, because we really have to stop doing this. We really do. Like, as girls, like as people, okay? There was a quote that I read the other day. I actually put it up on my Twitter. And I felt like it was so true, and it's something that I strive to do every day. You have to train your mind to be stronger than your emotions, or else you'll lose yourself every single time. I feel like that's super important, because a lot of times, and look, I'm not here to judge, okay? Because I have let my emotions run me, okay, before. I really have. But this is why I want to talk to you guys about it and like really advise against it, because that was like a really huge regret that I had, you know, when I was younger. And when I think back about when I was younger, I just regret letting my emotions run everything. And I lost out on a lot of opportunities, and I lost out on just quite simply bettering myself in a lot of different ways, because I was hurt, or I was worried, or I was just like in this relationship, and I know how this feels. Like, you just feel lost, and oh my God, like, is he mad? And nothing else matters besides that person. But then when you're out of it and the dust settles, you will regret it. Like, you're just like, oh my God. My point is, if this affects your job negatively, you're gonna regret it, because this situation that you're going through with your mans is gonna pass, whether you believe it or not. But things like your job, your education, you know, your responsibilities should never, ever, ever go by the wayside, because you're just like really hurt about, you know, a misunderstanding with your relationship. Nobody is going to want to hear that. Your boss isn't going to want to hear that. We cannot have our professional lives dictated by what's going on in our personal lives. Like, it has to be real separate. You know, you cannot continue to lose yourself over your emotions. But I completely get it, girl, because I used to do that all the time. I used to, like, if I was fighting with my mans, like, any misunderstanding happened, I could not focus. I would like be skipping classes, and I would be doing stupid shit. And then like I would regret it, honestly, I really did, where I was just like, why did I do that? Like, it wasn't even worth that. It was always just like not even that big of a deal. That was one thing that I wanted to talk to you about. Like, please don't miss work. Please don't be missing school. Please don't be missing your responsibilities, girl, because this issue is gonna go whatever way it's gonna go. It will be handled. But at the end of the day, you still gotta make your money. You still gotta be educated. You still have to go on with your life. You still have to maintain yourself and not let your emotions just ruin everything, girl. Because if we let our emotions take the front seat, y'all, let's not do that, okay? That's just asking for trouble. So, first question. Do I take that as a we're over? I don't know. I don't know if like this issue is so big for him that he's like, you know what, I can't even be with her because I'm so embarrassed with her. Like, I'm just so embarrassed that this happened, and like she knows. I wouldn't assume that it's over. I don't think it's over. Do you ask if it's over? I feel like, here's what I would do, okay? Yes, I would ask, kind of, sort of, because at this point, like, look, it ain't my fault that this happened, okay? All I was trying to do was be supportive. I was just trying to be your homeschool biscuit and let you know that my ass ain't gonna leave you for this, okay? So I would appreciate it if you extended me the same courtesy of talking to me. I could only handle this for so long without like getting petty and prideful myself. I would kind of sort of ask him and be like, hey, does this mean we're done? I haven't heard from you and I'm just really tired of wondering. If not, I need to know whether or not I need to move on. So I'll give you this amount of time. Like, until this day, I'll wait. If I don't hear from you by this date, I'm just gonna assume that you want to move on. And it may not be what you want, girl, and I know that it's probably gonna break your heart. I know you're gonna be real hurt, but you cannot have somebody that just shuts down on you like that anytime you guys like have a disagreement. This wasn't even a disagreement. You were seriously trying to be supportive. So like, don't understand why you need to be treated this way. Kind of asked, but I would give him like a time limit to answer because like your girl got things to do, okay? Am I in the wrong for trying to comfort him? No, I don't feel like you're in the wrong. I don't feel like, you know, just sweeping something like this under the rug is the right thing to do. Like, that's what people in relationships are supposed to do. Be like, hey, you know, we got a little problem right here. How can we fix it? You know, that's what makes a relationship work, is like problem solving everything in your life together. And sometimes that means that you're going to be embarrassed. Sometimes that means that he's going to be embarrassed. Somebody somewhere is going to be embarrassed. This is why face-to-face interaction, girl, best thing, okay? If you have the option to talk to him in person, even if you really want to get it out now, don't text him, don't call him, especially when it comes to stuff like this where he can just hang up or not text you back. You want it to be where like he's got to face the music, which is you, girl, okay? Should I move on? Again, I feel like that depends. I would give him like one last chance to talk to you. I don't feel like you should be waiting around forever. You legit didn't do anything wrong in this situation, not one thing. If he does not get back to you within a reasonable, girl, regardless of whether or not your emotions want him back now, I don't care. Your emotions got to take the back seat, girl. You still have a life to live. If that time goes by, peace out. And like, maybe you could find a guy that can, you know, handle his business. I don't know. So that's how I would handle it. Overall, I would get a hold of him one last time and kind of sort of ask, but let him know, hey, this got a time limit on it. And if I don't get a response by this point, I'm just going to assume that you want this to be over and I will be moving on, good sir. So that is how I would handle it. Glamazon, you let her know, how would you handle this situation? Do you feel like she was in the wrong? Do you feel like he's in the wrong? Have you handled it? Let me know down in the comments. And girl, make sure you check out the polls and the comments to see what your fellow Glamazons are saying. I hope this helps. And, you know, honestly, I really hope that this just is like, you know, a matter of him being embarrassed and he will come back around and y'all can work it out together. That's what I'm hoping. So, love you, sending good vibes, and thank you so much for writing into me. So, next one is from my girl. We'll call her Tara. Hey, Tara. She has a subject line of a good friend or not. Hey girl, such a huge fan. I love your channel and your story times are my favorite. Thank you. So let me get into the story. I have this friend, let's call her Hannah. So Hannah and I have been friends for roughly 3 years. She's a really good friend, but there are certain things about her that make me doubt whether I should continue to be friends with her or not. So we attend the same university and we basically have the same friends, but of course there will be people that I know that she doesn't know. But what I've noticed, she always does, is as soon as she sees me talking to people who she doesn't know, she'll all of a sudden invite them on social media and speak to them. And it's not even just people who I talk to. It has gotten to a point where I can, for example, just mention that a guy is cute, and like clockwork, all of a sudden she would invite him on Instagram and begin talking to him and then say, oh my gosh, guess who I happen to be next to. Now, I'm not saying she's not allowed to talk to these people, but it's really weird that all of a sudden she talks to them out of nowhere. For example, there's this guy on our campus who I thought was incredibly cute. A couple of months later, this guy follows me on Insta, and guess who follows him? Is it me, or is it a bit shady that she didn't tell me she follows him? Another thing that happened that made me really question her friendship, I went on a date with this guy on our campus, and Hannah constantly wanted to be involved. But anyway, me and the guy stopped speaking because turns out he was playing Love Island with the whole library. Yeah, I'm not the one. Okay. But anyway, this year comes and we're on campus and he walks by and he greets me and we're speaking because there's no bad blood. It literally just fizzled out, you know? So then we're talking and Hannah jumps in the combo, and now him and Hannah are talking and they end up going back and forth and they start flirting in front of me. What the fuck? I'm so shocked at what I'm seeing, and I'm just sitting there just pure shocked, and this is happening. Now, I could care less that he was flirting with her, but her, she's my friend. Why was she flirting when she firstly knew we had history? But also, you have a boyfriend. I felt so stupid and embarrassed. And had no idea what to do. It wasn't even like it was my imagination, because our other friend that was sitting with us, she was like, Tara, I thought you and him had a connection, but it seems like him and Hannah have one. This leads me into the next thing. Hannah is an attention seeker and always has to have the attention on her. This is something that people that we are friends with brought up with me. So that's why when she sees me talking to people, she wants to know who they are, because it's like she can't take them knowing me and not her. I know if someone is really interested in me, that wouldn't matter, but at the same time, I see why people are attracted to her. She's very extroverted and inviting, and I'm much more introverted and guarded when I talk to people. I just don't know whether what's best for me is to continue to be friends with her. What do you think? Am I tripping? Or is she low-key shady? Love your Glamour for life. Sorry for the long-ass story, girl. It's all good. We got through it. Okay. All right, so let's go through it. So you have this girl. You have your friend named Hannah. You guys have known each other for about 3 years. She has a tendency to have to know everybody that you know, and if she doesn't know them, she's going to get to know them, and she invites them on Instagram, and like, it's not even just regular people. It's not even just like friends. It's even guys that you're interested in. You say he's cute. All of a sudden, she's following him on Instagram the next day and like finding a way to talk to him and like sitting next to him and being like, hey girl, guess who I'm sitting next to? And it can get really annoying really fast. Tell me not. So that's like the first thing that you tell me about her, as far as like, this is super annoying. The next thing is the fact that you do have an ex on campus. You guys dated for a while. You find out that he's like been in all kinds of mess, okay? And you decide, you know, it didn't really end on bad terms. It just kind of like fizzled out. You know, he walks by, he says hello to you, and you know, y'all are saying what's up, and all of a sudden, of course, Hannah has to jump into it and be like, oh my God, who is this? And they start talking, and of course she's like super extroverted and flirty, and so he starts flirting with her, whatever, and it's all happening right in front of your face. You have a problem with this for 2 reasons, okay? Number 1 is the fact that yes, you and this said guy have a history. Whether or not it was serious, you feel like that's irrelevant. Y'all had history. Secondly, but most importantly, Hannah has a man, okay? And like, that's apparently a whole different story, but she does have a man. She is not single, but she's sitting here flirting with your ex right in front of you. Okay, icing on the cake is the fact that, you know, you say that she's an attention seeker. She's an extrovert. She talks to everybody. She's very warm. Everyone's attracted to her. Like, so you're kind of going through your life basically when you're meeting people, and your immediate thought is, are they gonna click with Hannah better than they're gonna click with me? Like, should I even introduce them to Hannah? Like, you're a lot more introverted, you're a lot more guarded, so you know, some people tend to gravitate more towards her than to you. So you want to know whether it's best for you to have somebody like Hannah as your friend, and you also want to know what I think. Do I think you're tripping, or do I think she's low-key shady? Which one? I feel, okay, here's how I feel. I feel like I know both sides of this story. I had a very large portion of my life where I was very much like you. I was an introvert. I was very guarded. I didn't make friends easily at all. I was kind of like an outcast, and when I did make friends, it was, you know, hard. It was definitely like it was a process, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't make friends really fast. And during that time in my life, you know, I was younger. I did have friends that were the complete opposite, that were like my Hannah, that were just like really extroverted and my complete opposite. It would be fun and outgoing and so likable. During that time, I felt the way that you feel. I felt like, you know, my friends always liked her better than me. Guys always liked her better than me. And it just seemed like she could just get anything she wanted. And again, the girl that I'm, you know, referring to, she would do the same thing. It was almost as if she wanted to kind of show me like, haha, I can do this and you can't. Like I have it in me to talk to him, you know, this guy that you think is so cute and you'll never talk to him, but I will. And like just kind of putting it in my face how easy this type of stuff came for her. Me being friends with her was kind of detrimental because, I mean, we were still so young that I don't feel like a conversation with her would have made any difference. It was just like such a vast difference in our personalities that I don't think that she would have cared enough to like change her ways, because she and I weren't like close. As far as you and Hannah, you guys have known each other for 3 years. It's way longer than I knew the girl that I knew. Now, if you fast forward though, I'm gonna be real, okay? By the time I got to high school, my whole personality flipped and changed around, and I became an extrovert, like to the fullest, okay? I will say I was not exactly like Hannah, okay? Let me pump the brakes real fast. I was loud, I was an extrovert, I could talk to anybody, I could flirt with anybody, like I was just not scared. And when, you know, I had a friend that had another friend that I didn't know, I was always the first person to be like, hey, what's up? I'm Nikki. Like, I've never seen you before. What's your name? And like, I would get to know them. Now, as far as like following them on social media and stuff, I don't think that I ever went that far to like get that deep involved in it, unless me and that person really started connecting besides just being introduced to each other, you know? But, you know, I'd be lying if I said that I didn't like gain friends from my friends. That did happen. Now, no, I don't be playing this whole, you know, back in the day they were together, now they're not. Like, I don't. Any type of history is an absolute hell no for me. Like and this ain't shade to anybody that doesn't feel the same way, okay? Like there is a such thing as a difference of an opinion, and it really isn't that big of a deal, and you gotta let people just have their differences of an opinion and just respect it. We have to respect each other's opinion. Don't be getting all butthurt, because people really be taking that to heart. Like, just because I never did that, I'm saying that, you know, whoever has or thought about it is a terrible person. Absolutely not. I'm just saying I didn't do that, okay? I didn't really want to have to one up pretty much somebody else's history, you know, because like when people have history, you immediately put it on yourself to like be better, you know, like you obviously want to be better than that person. And I just didn't like that feeling. If I knew who their ex was and like I really knew them pretty well, like it got really complicated, and that's the part that I hated about it. So when it came to any dudes that have either dated my friends or talked to my friends at any point in time, and all because you see how you felt, you see, even though you and him did not have a super serious relationship, even though there was no bad blood, even though y'all aren't together, you still felt a little bit of a ways about Hannah being all up in his face and then flirting, okay? Even though he's not your man, he's not, you know, anymore. Sometimes people aren't fully over it. That is where I feel like I draw the line as far as quality of friendship that she offers you, and who she is and what type of friend she is to you. Because like that part right there, I could never do. Like I cannot do that to my friend. Because more oftentimes than not, there are still some low-key feelings like between those two, whether it's one or both or whatever. Like, tell me not. Like, it's never just simple like, nah, I ain't got no feelings for them no more, just go ahead, girl, green light. No, it's like they'll say that and then you get involved and then they like low-key can't stand you, or they're low-key mad at you. And if like you and him lasted forever and ever and ever, like they still kind of resentful and salty about it. Like more oftentimes than not, I've seen that happen. Now you're saying, you know, she's an attention seeker. That was something, I don't know if I was like an attention seeker. I feel like I was just like loud. I had a good gauge for right time, right place, but like if people weren't paying attention to me, like I didn't lose my shit. You know, I wasn't bothered by it. But because I was such a loud extrovert of a person, attention kind of was on or around me at some point. And so you feel like anything you're interested in, she's going to be interested in, and you have to think about whether or not she's going to connect with the person better than you are. And you just feel, basically in a nutshell, you just feel less than around her. You feel inferior around her. You feel bad about the fact that you're an introvert and that you're guarded, and like in comparison, you just like, you feel like you can't shine on your own when she's around. The same way that she can't get upset with you for being a true introvert and not doing things outside of your limitations because that's just who you are. You can't get upset about who she is if she's just genuinely an extrovert and she just genuinely has this thing in her where she has to like talk to everybody, and you never know, this could actually be like a nervous tick. I will be real, okay? I hate awkward moments with everything in me. I have a tendency to want to avoid that at all costs, so I'll continue a conversation, and I will, make jokes, and I will like do the most because I hate awkward moments. And it really, I think in high school, it was kind of like a nervous tick, like I was not about to, I had been put in that situation so many times by just being the new girl. Oh my God, I hated that feeling of just like being embarrassed and like being awkward in that moment. I couldn't stand it. So it was almost like a nervous thing where like I just wanted to just talk, and I just wanted to, hurry up and make this person my friend so I could stop feeling this way. Here's where I think that she may not be the best friend for you because, she does know that you're an introvert. I had introvert friends. I have introvert friends. And when I am around them, I know that my personality tends to be big and loud and all of that. But I also know that I have friends who are introverts, and I have to respect that. And I never want them to feel this way. I never want them to feel like I believe that I'm more important because I'm louder. I never want them to feel like I'm just trying to go there to outshine them, like ever, ever, ever. I never want to put them in situations that they're uncomfortable with. Like I just feel like a lot of times when you have a friend that's completely opposite from you as far as your personality goes, when it comes to introverts and extroverts, extrovert friends tend to make the introvert friend feel weird or out of place and be like, come on, just go talk to him. Oh my God, you're just being crazy. You're being weird. And like, I never ever am that friend. If my introvert friend wants to be left the hell alone and she, does not want to go talk to people, I'm going to support her in that. And I will stay there at the table and I will just talk to her, and my extrovert ass will be all hers. Do I think that you being friends with her is the best thing for you? I think it depends. I think it depends on whether or not she's able to see your side. I feel like, before any decisions are made, I always like having at least one conversation with this person to give them the opportunity to fix it. Now, as far as like the guys thing, you need to let her know, like, I know that this is how you are as a person, but if I tell you that I think a guy is cute, it's kind of like I'm telling you that I have dibs on him. So like, please don't go out of your way to find him on IG and stuff before I've even had a chance to talk to him, because you're my girl. And like I told you that I thought he was cute. There shouldn't be an issue with her understanding that. I feel like, you're not asking for her to not talk to the whole world. Just like, can you not talk to the people that I find interesting? Okay. She has to understand that, she is the way that she is and you are the way that you are, and you guys have to coexist if you guys are going to be friends. And if that can't happen and she can't respect how you feel and how you handle things, then yeah, maybe this friendship isn't the best thing for you, because you cannot just have a friendship where you're constantly being made to feel this small, and like you just feel like you don't have your own place, and every time she's around, all the attention's on her, and you're not having any meaningful conversation because all of it is on her. If that is in fact how you're feeling all the time, and you try talking to her and nothing's changing, well then yeah, your personalities are just too different for you guys to maintain a healthy relationship, in my opinion. Do I think that you're tripping, or do I think that she's low-key shady? I don't think you're tripping. I really don't. I think that the going too far part is like going out of her way to like find dudes that you think are cute? Like, where are the guys that she thinks are cute? Like, where are the dudes that she's finding organically on her own, you know? Then you finally, you know, follow him on Instagram, and of course she's following him, and like, it's always like you're in her shadow. It's always like, you know, she's ahead of you 1 step or 3. I think that is really shady. I really do. I think that, like you said, why wouldn't she just tell you that she was friends with old boy? You had to find out on your own. Like, why wouldn't she tell you? That's a little shade. Like I said, I've been on the other side of this. I've been the extrovert friend while my friend's an introvert, and I have to respect that and just, you know, let them be them and not let my big old personality, you know, gobble them up, because they're people too. They need to have their voice too, and you know, I just need to shut up sometimes so that they can have the floor. So just being around her and all of that just doesn't make you feel better as a person. It may not be the right fit as far as a friend is concerned, because friends are there to help you be the best version of yourself that you can be. And like you said, ultimately she is your friend. She should have your back and have your best interest at heart, number 1. So if you're not getting any of that from her, sweetheart, this may not be the best of friendships. I'm just saying. Amazons, let her know in the polls as per usual, top right hand corner of your screen. How would you handle this? How have you handled this? Let us know down in the comments your wisdom, your knowledge, your experience. But from my perspective, just having been, you know, an introvert in my earlier years and an extrovert in my later years and up until now, I feel like I have a pretty good sense of both sides of the fence and what it feels like to be on either side, and how, you know, because I never forgot what that felt like, I feel like I understood my introverted friends a lot more than I would have had I never known what that felt like, you know, what it was like to be so introverted. So maybe that's a part that she's missing. That is how I would handle it. Thank you so much for writing into me and watching my crazy videos and supporting my crazy ass. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's Ask Nikki. We did go over a lot. We did talk a lot. We did, you know, figure some things out. But thank you guys so much for always loving me, supporting me, writing me, keeping this series alive. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Make sure you're back here this weekend for a story time. You already know I got you. Follow me on my social media if you're feeling it. And I love you guys, and I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Peace out.